Hi guys, this recording is for Unit 9, and it deals with calendar. It's really follow up on the day, the day time and the clocks and things like that. So in this topic, we're going to focus really on the yearly calendar and how that really was developed. So we're going to talk about the historical significance of the calendar. When the word month, actually, you can guess it's from the word moon. And then different, basically, calendars were adopted, were used. Uh, there are two ideas: either you follow the moon, or you follow the sun, or a combination of both. And that's basically the current calendars that we have. And then the idea of the leap year. Okay, where is that coming from? The fact that the Earth does not do 365 days going around the sun; it does 365 days in a quarter. So every 4 years, you really have to make up for that day. That's basically in a nutshell. Although it's not 100% exact, you will see the nuance in it. Anyway, so historically people wanted to keep track of the day, the calendar for several reasons, because of the different cycles, because of the agricultures. You would want to know when to plant things. You would want to know when the floods are coming, so that you can. So you need to keep track of time basically throughout the year, and for that you really have to come up with the divisions, and one of them is the week. Okay, and probably the 7 day week was developed by the Babylonians and Sumerians, and it's most likely related to the calendar, to the star, to the planets. Okay, there are two different planets. There's two different stars out there. Stars that are fixed in specific constellations; they don't change their shape. They're together all the time. And stars that hop from constellation to constellation year round, and those are the concept of a planet. So how many planets did we know then? We knew 7 planets, and let me name them for you. The first planet, and it may sound kind of a terrible way of calling it, but it's the sun, because it doesn't stay in the same constellation. It moves from constellation to constellation. And that's probably where the word Sunday is coming from. Moon, Monday. The third one, I'm going to call it Mars, and that's where the word mardi, at least in French, is. And I know some of you probably speak Spanish and you know the word. So it's coming from Latin. And when it comes to the English and Germanic languages, they use different gods there to represent the same thing, Mars, that is. Then comes Mercury for Wednesday, Mercury. Then Jupiter for Jeudi. Then Friday, Vendredi. Then Saturn is clearly Saturday. And that's where the 7 days basically of the week. At that time, we didn't know anything about Uranus and Neptune. Otherwise, probably the week would be more. Okay. And also, there are some probably biblical and textbooks out there, at least religious textbooks that solidified this concept, or at least came before or after. I don't know exactly the context for it, at least at this point. Anyway, the month is coming most likely from the cycle of the moon. If you go from quarter moon to quarter moon, the same form, because quarter moon you have, or let's go full moon to full moon. It's easy to track. Okay, from full to moon to full moon, and you track the motion of the moon around the night to night. Basically, you will see its shape changing from full to start to be gibbous, then a quarter moon, then a crescent, then it disappears completely and reappears as a new moon, a crescent, a quarter moon, a gibbous, and now it's a full moon. That cycle on average averages 29 and a half days. Okay, this is the lunar month. Okay, so that's why the idea of having to have like months to be around 30 days. Of course, if you base it on the sun, uh, the days average anywhere between 28 to 31 days for 12-year intervals. Okay, so the year has 12 months. And so that's the idea behind it. Lunar months completely don't relate to the sun at all. And in that case, for example, the Islamic calendar uses 12 months. That's the position of the moon. And that's why they shift, because there are 354 days in the lunar month versus 365 days in the solar month. So there is an 11-day discrepancy, and that's why the lunar month moves back and back and back. So in this year, for example, Ramadan will come earlier than last year, and so on and so forth. The lunisolar system used by the Chinese and the Jewish calendars, that is a combination of the two. Every 3 years, you make up for the lunar month to bring it up to par with the solar month, so that doesn't shift too much compared to the Islamic calendar, for example. Here is an example of an Islamic calendar. This is between December 2005 to 2006, February. So this is a full year, and is it? Yeah, it's several months at least, 4 months in the year. And so you have in here Muharram, you have Zul Qada, you have Zul Hijjah, and then you have Safar. So those are 4 lunar months, and they move around, okay? They're following the lunar cycle from the new moon to the new moon. That's basically how this calendar is. And it averages 29 to 30 days. So there are some times where 30 days like this month, and there are some months that is 29 days. So it's not all of it like the it's not like the solar days, which can go all the way to 31 days. That's because they total less. They total 354 days, but it's a purely lunar cycle. Okay. Now, the modern, the Roman calendar basically initially was up to 10 months. Then you can tell the last month in the year is December, and Deca stands for 10. It was later on corrected and added to a 2 more months to account really for when Julius Caesar asked astronomers to basically fix the calendar or try to at least track it with some astronomical events, and that's where they came up with 12 months, okay? So 12 signs of the zodiac, and as the year moves, so now we have 12 months. So we added July for Julius and Augustus for August, and now we have 12 months in the year instead of 10, okay? And then because of the fact that we have a problem with the calendar, we have to make up the February slightly less so that we have at least the 365 days in the year. The concept of the leap year was again introduced because of the fact that the Earth does not do exactly 365 days, but 365 and a quarter. So this year, for example, it's 365. The next year is 365. That's 2 quarters. The third year is 365. That's 3 quarters. The fourth year is 365 and 4 quarters. That's a full year. So the full day, that's 366 days. And that's where the concept of the leap year is. So instead of having February be 28, then leap year is going to be 29. Okay. There was a problem, though. It's not exactly a quarter, it's slightly less. So if you really want to account for it, you have to make another adjustment. In order for a leap year to happen, you have to be in when it reaches the 100 or the 200 or the 300, it has to be 400 in order for the leap year to happen again, because there is some adjustment to that to be made, and that's where the final decision is as far as the Gregorian calendar, and that's where we stand at this point in here. So this is a full year calendar for the year 2005. Again, 2005 is not a leap year, so if we look at the month of February, we should see it 28 days. And here it is, okay? January, February, so on and so forth. And that's basically how this cycle is divided. Okay, so of course, the year, the current year has a tight connection to the Christianity in terms, because the Christians, at least the church, played a major role in the development of the calendar. But then, because we want to have it universal, so there was some adjustment to the naming of things. So instead of calling it before Christ, we call it before the Common Era. And then instead of AD, which stands for the Year of the Lord, now we change it to the Common Era. Honestly, I know this is the standard. You're going to be tested on this, so do whatever you want to. But keep in mind that the church played a major role in the development of the current calendar, and it's only right to admit that. So personally, I really don't have a problem, and I think I still use BC and AD in my communication. So that should not be a shame in it, even though probably you may not be a Christian, but you really have to recognize the fact that the church played a major role in this. So you really need to keep that. Okay. Thank you. We're going to be talking about Unit 8 down the road. Thank you.